The Garden of Eden is a timeless symbol of perfection, purity, and bliss. A place where humans and animals lived in harmony, where fruit and flowers grew in abundance, and where the presence of God was felt in every corner. But beneath the idyllic surface, there is a darker side to this paradise that is often overlooked. The story of the Garden of Eden begins with a serpent, a cunning creature that tempts Eve to eat from the forbidden tree of knowledge. By disobeying God's command, Adam and Eve bring sin and death into the world, causing them to be banished from the garden. But the consequences of their actions go far beyond their own fate. The legacy of the fall of man shapes the entire course of human history, from the wars and conflicts of the ancient world to the modern-day struggles of poverty, injustice, and inequality. The Garden of Eden becomes a symbol of a lost paradise, a distant dream of a world without pain or suffering. The story of Adam and Eve is a cautionary tale about the dangers of temptation, the limits of human nature, and the price of knowledge. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Garden of Eden is its elusive nature. Is it a real place, a metaphor, or a myth? Is it a memory of a lost paradise or a vision of a future utopia? The Garden of Eden remains a powerful symbol of our deepest longings and fears, a place where the boundaries between good and evil, nature and culture, and heaven and earth dissolve. A place where the dark and the light coexist in perfect harmony. The Garden of Eden is a mystery that will continue to inspire and challenge us for generations to come. The Garden of Eden is a place of perfect harmony, where humans and animals coexist in peace and mutual respect. In this paradise, animals play a vital role in shaping the landscape, providing food and companionship, and revealing the beauty and diversity of creation. The animals in the Garden of Eden are not just passive creatures, but active participants in the drama of creation. They are not feared or hunted, but celebrated and revered as fellow creatures of God. Birds fill the garden with their songs, insects buzz and flutter around the flowers, and fish swim in the clear waters of the river. Each animal has its own unique role to play in the delicate ecosystem of the garden. But not all animals in the Garden of Eden are benign. The serpent, for example, plays a pivotal role in the story of Adam and Eve, tempting them to eat from the tree of knowledge and leading to their expulsion from the garden. The role of animals in the Garden of Eden reminds us of the deep connection between humans and the natural world. It teaches us to respect and care for the creatures that share our planet, to appreciate their beauty and complexity, and to recognize their importance in the web of life. It also reminds us of the mystery and wonder of creation, the intricate patterns and designs that underlie the world around us, and the infinite variety of life forms that populate our planet. The Garden of Eden is often portrayed as a place of abundance and plenty, where food and water are freely available and the land yields its fruits without effort. But beneath the surface of this idyllic paradise lies a deeper truth, one that reveals the origins of agriculture and the human quest for sustenance. According to the biblical story, Adam was tasked with tilling the soil and caring for the plants in the garden. This suggests that the garden was not just a place of leisure, but a working farm, where humans and animals labored together to provide for their needs. The Garden of Eden, therefore, can be seen as a model for the origins of agriculture, the transition from hunting and gathering to settled farming, and the development of human civilization. The Garden of Eden also contains clues to the domestication of plants and animals, the cultivation of crops, and the selective breeding that led to the emergence of agriculture as a sustainable and reliable source of food. The fruits of the garden, such as apples, figs, and pomegranates, were not just delicious treats, but also symbols of abundance, fertility, and prosperity. The river that flowed through the garden provided not just water, but also a means of transportation, irrigation, and communication, essential components of early human settlements. Adam was cursed with the toil of the land, while Eve was cursed with pain and childbirth. These curses can be seen as the origins of gender roles, with Adam becoming the provider and protector, and Eve becoming the caregiver and nurturer. From this point on, the story of Adam and Eve reflects the traditional gender roles of many societies, with men working outside the home and women tending to the needs of the family. But the story of the Garden of Eden also contains hints of a more egalitarian society, where men and women work together to care for the land and each other. The Garden of Eden can be seen as a model for a society where gender roles are not rigidly defined, but flexible and adaptable to the needs of the community. The garden contained two special trees, the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life was said to grant eternal life to those who ate from it. Since that time, humans have been searching for ways to extend their lives, from alchemy and magic to modern medicine and biotechnology. The search for immortality has led to the development of anti-aging drugs, stem cell therapies, and genetic engineering, all aimed at extending human life and overcoming the limitations of mortality. But despite these efforts, death remains a fundamental part of the human experience, a reminder of our mortality and our connection to the natural world. The Garden of Eden, therefore, can be seen as a symbol of humanity's eternal search for immortality, a reminder that life is precious, and that our time on earth is limited. Christian tradition, the idea of paradise was linked to salvation, with the Garden of Eden representing a lost state of innocence that could only be regained through faith and obedience. Similarly, in Islam, the idea of paradise is associated with reward and punishment, with believers being promised a paradise of gardens and rivers if they follow the teachings of the faith. But paradise has also been used as a political tool, with leaders using the promise of paradise to rally support and justify their actions. In some cases, this has led to conflict and violence, as different groups fight for control over their own vision of paradise. The Garden of Eden, therefore, is not just a story of a lost paradise but also a symbol of the cultural politics of paradise, and the ways in which the idea of paradise can be used to advance political, religious, and cultural agendas. According to the story, God placed Adam and Eve in the garden and gave them free rein to eat from any tree, except the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Some religious traditions see free will as a gift from God, a necessary component of human agency and moral responsibility. The question of free will has important implications for our understanding of moral responsibility and justice, as well as for our understanding of human agency and personal responsibility. The Garden of Eden, therefore, is not just a story of paradise lost, but also a reflection of the complex nature of human freedom and the role of free will in our lives and our destiny.